Hello everyone, it's Llamaphil here and this is iRacing for the first time in a long time. I haven't touched the service in well over a year, but I wanted some short track action, so I've taken out a short membership just to see if I actually have time to race. This was my first race back, week 13 street stocks at Oxford Plains Speedway, 50 laps, 19 cars. I'm in the blue number 17. If you don't know about week 13, it's the break between seasons where things tend to go a little bit off the rails. This is an official race though, so iRating and safety rating do count. I'm starting in 4th position because hardly anyone bothered to set a qualifying time. Week 13 races are usually carnage, so my goal here was just to get to the end of the race. I wasn't planning to put up much of a fight for positions. My rust is showing right near the start, where for some reason I'm really far out of position. We get off to a great start with the 13 car trying to make it 3 wide into turn 1. He clatters off the number 1 and then bounces into me and then onto the infield. No harm done to myself or the 1. By the end of lap 1 I'm still in a strong 5th position. Overall this was quite a clean race, but it did have its moments as we see here. Luckily, wrecks at Oxford Plains often clear themselves, with there being no outside wall around most of the track, and only a curb on the inside. We can see this with the number 5 car, who gets all out of shape, but they've got plenty of room to gather it up again. One of the reasons I'm being so cautious, besides not having raced in a long time, is that even when I did race regularly, it wasn't in this car. I've turned a lot of laps here, but almost entirely in the Legends and the SK Modifieds. They feel so much different to the street stock, especially the modified with its big 15-inch wide tyres. You'll see on the screen that if a faster car's coming up on me, I don't fight them. Although I started high on the grid, I've got a very low number. This means that in theory, almost everyone should be faster than me, although it's week 13, so all bets are off. In this week, people often race things they wouldn't normally touch, so although their iRating is higher than mine, they might not be regular short track drivers. I'm not normally a street stock driver either, so I'm at least partially out of my wheelhouse too. On lap 25 I'm down to 7th place, which is still fine. The number 2 car, who is in the process of passing me, was involved in a crash on lap 4, so they must be quite fast to have made all that ground back up. There's quite a lot of lap traffic mixed into the field right now. The number 8 and the number 12 behind me are in 18th and 17th place respectively. I eventually let them through because they were faster than me, and really I had nothing to lose by letting them unlap themselves at this point in the race. Now, although week 13 races are open setup, I'm using the iRacing baseline here. I thought it was a bit loose, but that also could be because I'm just not used to this car, and I'm a bit of a clumsy oaf. I wasn't super consistent with my lap times, but I did manage to keep the car under me for the entire race with only 1 or 2 iffy moments. I was trying to be smooth on the throttle as I could be, but on the exit of turn 4 I quite often had to back out a little. On lap 40 I dropped to 8th place with the leader starting to close in on me. It's the 5 car who lit his tyres up near the start of the race, so he was clearly a very fast car, probably a regular in the C-Class Street Stock series. I wanted to finish on the lead lap, but as is so often the case in short track racing, that wasn't going to happen this time. The trick was going to be letting the leaders through without losing my position to the orange number 18 car. But they were also getting lapped, so they were going to lose ground at the same time. The last few laps were spent trying to let the leaders through while also tiptoeing around cars that I myself was lapping, all the while keeping an eye on the 18 car. They did get right up on me by the end, but I managed to cover the inside quite well. He did have a go at the very end, but I think that lunge was as much to do with his contact with the 11 as it was an attempt to send it up the inside. But overall, this was a good comeback race. I had a second race that day too, which went a little bit differently. I changed my setup to one from a website that I've used many times before, that's osracing.net. I requalified and managed to improve my time. and to my great surprise I ended up on pole. Again though, that's because only about 5 people bothered to qualify. This setup was much tighter, and although my fastest laps were faster, I still wasn't very consistent. My line was quite wide on entry and I often missed the bottom, which means I was probably going in too deep, especially in 3 and 4. My tenure as leader lasted longer than I thought though. I led the first 15 laps, and then what happened next was mostly my fault. I was trying to get around a slower car and went too deep into 3 and just washed right up the track into him. Unfortunately, I seemed to hit him at a funny angle and ended up spinning out. By the time I got going again, I was down in 13th and in danger of going a lap down. From there, actually not much else happened. I managed to hang on and come home in 10th place, just barely on the lead lap. I think I could have made it up to 8th or 9th with some more consistent laps. Either way, it was a useful race. I don't often get the chance to lead out the field, and I've learned some valuable lessons about staying calm while lapping cars. Now, hopefully I can get a few good races in during the season, and make another video or two, but until then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.